Hey there guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you a way to rank 1 on the final boss of the Final Fantasy VIII Vision World. This is a machine boss that is 0% to all the elements, so you can just take your best elemental team possible. We're going to go with this party, we're going to go with the fire team, Rain's going to be our leader, and we're going to damage cap. Now the damage cap is 18.03 billion damage. So, slightly above 18 billion to get a perfect score on this boss. We're going to use this team. Let's get in here and give it a go. I'll show you the gear at the end. I'll show you the turn chart in the comments. But we're going to be doing a turn 3 clear. So a pretty quick clear. And the reason for that is, I'll explain it in a moment. But first of all, as the first action on turn 1, Genesis is going to use Ancient Epic Fire. We're going to target Dwayne, and we're going to nuke him to Guts. That's going to trigger Dwayne. His critical self-only Omni Killer buff is going to give him a bigger Machine Killer buff than we're going to have otherwise. Okay, after doing that, Flaring Rain can do the shifted LB to put up Sword in Peril and start stacking. Lena, not yet actually, Yish can go ahead and do her Crowned Break. That's an 89 break as well as a 150 Machine Killer for the party. We can just guard Dwayne on turn 1. Esther is going to, in the shift form, we're going to Energizing Bunny for the stats. We're going to Omni Cover and Storm Guardian. Now on turn 1, this boss is going to do a gravity attack. To stop that, we're going to use Lena to Nethicite from the Sword of Kings, or the Treaty Blade. That is going to Nethicite the gravity attack. The boss will also do some physical damage. Esther is going to evade Omni Cover. And then an AoE fixed magic attack. It can hit pretty decently hard, so we're going to use Esther with her Omni Cover and 90% mitigation to cover the fixed attack, the Light Pillar. It's called Light Pillar, but it's actually non-elemental. And right there, with a Omni Cover tank, that should be very, very minimal damage. Okay, now on this turn, what we're going to do is we're going to kill the boss on turn 3. And the reason for that is on turn 3, the boss will use Dispel, and you can Nethicite it with like a bunch of Nethicite stacks. But we're going to just make it easy. We're going to just kill the boss on turn 3. So we're going to get ready for killing next turn. Yish is going to Magic Boost. We're going to have Lena go to the base form and give us that nice double fire field. Genesis will triple. We'll 150 amp, fill LB, and then finalize with Preface. Flaring Rain will AoE imbue the party. We will 150 amp and then use his cooldown to refill his LB gauge. We're going to use Dwayne to imbue himself with fire, 150 amplify, and then just Blood Shield. And then we're going to use Esther this turn to use the Sword of Kings to Nethicite the gravity attack. So turn 2 is going to be another gravity attack. We're going to Nethicite, more physical damage, and AoE magical earth damage, and Esther is wearing immunity. Also a single target paralyzed that Esther is provoking with immunity. And here we go. So now we're going to kill the boss on turn 3 and not worry about all the future stuff like dispels, more fixed damage, etc. So Yish is going to just chain with the vision card from Ayaka, and Lena will do the same thing. They're going to do very minimal damage, but they'll do a little bit, and it does help, so we're going to use them to support chain. Dwayne is going to use his Atonement Magnus. We're going to use Esther to go to the base form, and now we could have set up Esther to do her LB and all that, but her LB is irritating. It messes up our fields. We're just going to have her support chain with a vision card using Star Piercer. Rain's going to LB, and then Genesis will cap that with Purgatory. Now, this team is not going to super duper overcap, but we should do 18 billion or better. Let's go ahead and do our damage and see how we do. We're going to start the chain with the support chainers, then we're going to send the others, cap with Genesis, and the chain broke. Oh, the chain broke. That is really unfortunate. Hopefully we still damage cap, but let's see what happens. Maybe not. We need 18.03 or better. 18.8, even with the broken chain. We still did more than 100 chain count. Yeah, that Star Piercer card, it's like slightly not perfect Absolute Mirror of Equity frames. That's kind of frustrating. But whatever. It worked. We got a damage cap. So here is the damage breakdown. The chain did break at the very end, and Dwayne, unfortunately, his final hit was probably the one that got messed up there. But feels bad. Anyway, it worked. We got it done. So there is our damage breakdown. Genesis. My Genesis is only EX1. Obviously, if you're EX2 with his STMR and all that good stuff, you can do way more damage than up to the 10 billion cap. Rain does pretty good, and then Dwayne did pretty good as well. And then support chainers. You know, Esther did 8 or 0.8 with the card, and then we got a grand total of, looks like 0.9 from Yish and Lena combined. So another like 2 billion between all 3 support units. I'm calling Esther a support unit. And yeah, so about 3 billion there. You know, 4 from Dwayne is 7, 14 with Genesis, and then yeah, about 19, 20 billion with Rain. Anyway, just, you know, for your own curiosity, my calculations, I'll give you my team's damage range. So Genesis will do between 5.9 to 9.7. He did basically perfectly average. Rain on my team will do between 4.4 to 6.2, and he did 5.5, so perfectly average. Esther will do between 0.7 to 1.2, and she did 0.8, average. Dwayne will do between 3.4 to 4.8. He did below average because I think the chain broke on his last hit. Lena will do between 0.5 to 0.9. She did basically minimum. She rolled like the minimum possible. And then Yish would do between 0.4 to 0.7, and she did the minimum. Maybe the chain broke for the 2 support chainers. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We got a perfect score. There it is. So that was our perfect score for the Ultima weapon. Honestly speaking, this is probably my best possible team, and we didn't overcap by a huge amount. So for me to do alternate runs and start taking away my best units, I don't know if I can really build another team that can perfect score this. I'll try, and I'll try to do alternates, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. So here's the team that we did use. So Genesis is EX1 only, so we're using the Dark Visions weapon, no STMR, or not his STMR. The Meteor card, you know, just damage versus machines. Thankfully, he builds versus machines very, very easily, so he is capped on everything. Flaring Rain in the shift form is 16.5 attack power, maxed on Machine Killer, maxed LB damage, and there we go. And really, no one in the party needs any kind of resistances or bulk except your tank. Esther, in the base form, is using a sword because, you know, we're not setting up her sword in peril, her great sword in peril. So a sword for Rain's in peril. Other than that, you know, damage versus machines, and we're using the Star Piercer card. And there it is, just a support chain. You could go through the headache of setting up her LB, but it's just too much irritation for me. I don't bother. Shift form is using Sword of Kings, 100 Earth Resist, full evasion, passive provoke, and paralyzed immunity, and then as much spirit as you can fit. As you saw, we took like double-digit damage on turn 1. Omnicover will make the turn 1 attack very, very simple, no matter what Omnicover tank you're using. Yish is really just here, honestly, for her crown break. That's it. 89 defense and spirit, as well as 150 machine killer. That's it. We're not using ice stuff. If you don't have Yish, a great alternative would be Angeal, can do the same exact thing, etc. So we gave her a sword build, you know, focus, and then we chained with the card, and, you know, she did contribute, between her and Lena, they did contribute, you know, 1 billion personal damage, which, as you saw, we did need the damage cap. So, we geared her for damage. She does gear for machines pretty easily, and there we go. And then Lena, in the shift form, is using Sword of Kings so that we can net the sight on turn 1. In the base form, again, sword build, vision card chain. She's really here just for the field, but she does chain some machine killer for our damage. Okay, turn chart will be in the comments. Over the course of 2 weeks, I will try alternate clears, but my best clear only slightly overcapped. So I'll see what I can do. And as far as the other 2 fights, the 2 previous sub bosses, I'll record them in about half an hour. or soon. All right, see you then.